Hey guys, Kirkashi here, and if you are new to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, you may be wondering to yourself, well, how does Bitcoin have value? I mean, after all, it's not physical, you can't hold it. So, and basically it's just a piece of digital code, basically. So, how does it have any value? Well, to understand how Bitcoin has value, we need to understand more about how traditional money works. Now, as an example, the US dollar and many other currencies around the world, physical currencies that are printed by your governments, they're referred to as what we call fiat currencies, a lot of them. And fiat is a Latin term which loosely translates to it shall be or so it is. And basically what that means is that a US dollar is worth $1 because the government says it's worth $1. Okay? There's nothing actually backing it up to to uh, to value for values purposes. Nothing saying that to prove it's worth $1. It's only worth $1 because the government says it's worth $1. Okay. Now, years ago, we were on the gold, or we were on the silver standard first, and then the U.S. government went to the gold standard, and all U.S. dollars, all currency, was backed up by actual physical gold that was held in Fort Knox. So it actually had a physical backing for that dollar. Okay. Now, or ever since President Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard, so now there's nothing backing up the U.S. dollar. It's only a dollar because the government says it's a dollar. Now, what happens is when you have something like that that's not backed up by anything, okay, the more you print, the less it's actually worth. Okay, so when the government decides to print more money, put it into circulation, what happens is all that money, each dollar becomes worth less and less and less, right? So, and that's basically one of the major causes of inflation is overprinting of money. Okay, if you look back in like the 1920s, okay, you could probably buy 10 to 20 loaves of bread for $1. Today in 2018, $1 won't even buy you a single loaf of bread, okay, unless you find it on sale somewhere or buy day-old bread, okay. But you barely could get, if you're lucky, you'll get a loaf of bread for $1. If you're lucky, most of the time you won't be able to get it. It'll be cost you like $1.25 or $1.50 or $2 at least, right? So that is a major problem when it comes with traditional currencies, okay, the overprinting of money, and it basically causes inflation. Now, with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, the reason it has value is due to the trust the community has and the users have that use Bitcoin. Okay. Also, the reason it has value is because it cannot be the price cannot be affected by inflation because there is a limited cap on how many Bitcoin there will actually ever be in existence. Okay. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins in total, ever. And they haven't all been mined yet. Now, if you want to learn about mining, that's another topic. But if you understand cryptocurrencies, you know what mining is. If you're brand new to it, don't worry too much about understanding mining just yet. But there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoins ever in existence. And each Bitcoin can be broken down into 100 million pieces called Satoshi. So you can take one Bitcoin and it's can be divided up greatly. It's 100 million pieces. Okay, so you're talking about trillions of pieces of Bitcoin that can be utilized throughout the world. Now, the reason it has value, as I said, is due to the trust and usage of the coin of the currency. The more currency is used and the more it's accepted and the more it's trusted, the higher the value. Okay, so Bitcoin will never drop in value due to inflation. Now, it does go up and down anyway. Because of the market, it will fluctuate up and down. Okay, in fact, it fluctuates constantly throughout the day. Now, if you ever want to know where Bitcoin is currently sitting as far as what the value, as far as the value in, say, comparing to U.S. dollar or to maybe you're in the EU and you use euros, you can always go to CoinMarketCap.com. Okay, and what you want to do, the homepage is going to show you the top currencies here. What you want to do is you want to come over to Tools here and click on that, and you want to go down to the Currency Converter Calculator. Okay, and once that pops up, give it a second to load up here. Okay, you can look up any currency and convert it to any other currency. So, for example, right now, one Bitcoin is worth around $6,729.47 USD. Now, CoinMarketCap takes an average of from a bunch of different exchanges and averages it out. Every exchange is going to be a little bit different, okay? But for example, if you want to find out how much how much it is in euros, we just go to euro, and it's worth 5,787 euros. Okay, that's because euros are worth more than the U.S. dollar right now. Okay, in fact, euros have been worth more than the U.S. dollar for quite a long time. And you can convert it to any other currency here. And so if you were looking to see how much a Bitcoin is worth in comparison to, say, Ethereum, or maybe Bitcoin compared to, say, pesos or yen or anything like that, you can always come here and convert it. Now, to show you how it changes dramatically, I'm going to go over to Poloniex. Poloniex is one of the exchanges I like to use when buying and selling Bitcoin. And if you look here, the last price listed is 6685.622811777. Now, this is because the reason for all these extra decimal places is because it's being traded. We're going from BTC to USDT. And to be real, as a quick definition, USDT is a cryptocurrency that's tied to the US dollar 1-to-1. So this way, we're trading crypto to crypto, but USDT is worth exactly the same amount in US dollars. Okay, so 1 USDT is worth $1, 100 USDT is worth 100 US dollars. Okay, and if you see here, it's now 66.85. Now you're going to see here that the 24-hour high today, the highest point was 67.89. The 24-hour low was 64.58, and as you can see here, it's 66.85. And if you go into Poloniex and you just, or any exchange, you just watch, you can see that it'll change, fluctuate throughout the day. But the reason it's fluctuating is not because of inflation, okay, or because of it being overprinted, because there's a limit. You can't print more Bitcoin than whatever being. You can't print extra Bitcoin, okay? You can't just make infinite Bitcoin. There's only going to be ever 21 million coins ever in the world, okay? So some of the reasoning why this Bitcoin has value is because, number one, there's a limited cap on what the revenue will be. There's the trust in the community has in it, and the widespread usage of Bitcoin. Okay, we're seeing Bitcoin being used in more mainstream fashion now, in stores, in restaurants, coffee shops. You can actually go and we actually here in San Diego we have several Bitcoin ATMs. In fact, they're all over the world right now. I can go down to a nearby coffee shop and buy Bitcoin or sell Bitcoin at a Bitcoin ATM if I want to. So the widespread acceptance is another reason why it has so much value, or why it has any value at all, actually. So again, to recap, the reason why the US dollar and other currencies like it have value is because the government says it has value. There's nothing backing it up, okay? Nothing backing it up at all. And overprinting is one of the biggest causes of inflation, okay? Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies have a cap, okay? They have a cap, so it will never go down in value because of inflation, and because of the trust the people have in it and the usage it has, and the more wide usage, and in fact, the wider the usage becomes, the more accepted it will become and the more valuable it will be. Plus the fact that you can take one Bitcoin and break it up into 100 million pieces, okay, means that there will always be enough Bitcoin to be used around the world. Okay, even once that 21 million Bitcoins is mined, and no more new Bitcoins are being created, you still have all that Bitcoin we're talking. You take 21 million times 100 million. That's like, I don't even know what the math is on that. It's like trillions or more Satoshi that you can be used for purchasing things around the world. Okay, again, restaurants are using them, coffee shops, online stores are using them. Tiger Direct, I think, and Tiger Direct, you can buy computer equipment from Tiger Direct with Bitcoin. Microsoft accepts Bitcoin. Okay, a lot of major companies are not accepting Bitcoin. Right. So, guys, with that, I hope you found this video helpful on how does Bitcoin have value. If you found this helpful, please go and give it a like and leave me a comment down below, and also give it a share. And if you'd like to see more like this, be sure to subscribe to my channel, and also be sure to hit that bell notification, that bell icon, so you get push notifications every time I release a new video. And if you would like to see my recommended resource for the absolute best in cryptocurrency education, I'm going to leave a link down below for you as well. Okay. With that, guys, it's Kurt Tasche again. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next video. See you soon.